early between these two heroes.
Yeah, I agree. I also don't think it's set in stone that Alk's gonna have like even a decent time, right? There is the window of just being outplayed. We were mentioning that. I think Apex Genesis is a little bit a step above unknown here, so you do have to get through that laning stage.
You fought well and true.
Starboch.
Well.
Starboch.
I'll tear you limb from limb.
All right. Taking a look at the starting items, nothing too out of the ordinary. Alchemist, of course, getting his casual bracer to start things off since he's got that seed money facet. Is any of the facets like kind of stand out as being odd? Because from what I saw, it all looked pretty normal. Did the Kunkka go the Grog or the Tidebringer? He did go the High Tide. Okay.
High Tide. The most interesting one is that one Dark Willow again went for Thorny Thicket, but kind of makes sense with what we described earlier, since it will give you the most extra lockdown. But also, Fade on the Mars went for Victory Feast, which is not something we see all the time, but I mean, it's kind of cool if you like pick up an early kill.
Well, speaking of early kills, that is a Blood Grenade, the slow, plus the full Diabolic Edict into the support of the Dark Willow, and the kill given over to Wish on the mid lane Monkey King, who should already have a pretty good lane. So this is going to be a fantastic start to him. He's going to send out a full Wraith Band, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what I saw him sending out. And he'll have an early boots as well. Yeah, so Wraith Band tangos, and after that should be a pretty quick pair of boots to just deal with this pesky Lycan.
Ooh, I also like. We were talking about earlier about Orb Corrosion and how I think it could be buffed a little bit, but Wish actually has one queued, and it'll help him bully this Lycan. But also, the anti-heal will be quite good versus the Alchemist and the Phoenix.
Yeah. I'm curious how the Nature's Prophet lane is going to go. I think that's the other one that I'm a little bit like almost unsure of, because I feel like we've seen Kunkkas like both win and lose the Nature's Prophet matchups, but I think with the help of an Enchantress, it might just be a little too much. So we'll have to see, because this hero is incredibly strong in the lane. Yeah, they are just clicking them to death. Does go for a Shadow Realm there to try and buy a little bit of space, but
I think if you can get them to walk through a couple brambles, sure, but they don't really have a way to force that. And you also have the Treant to actually walk in the brambles in front of you to tank it for you. Even some creeps later from the Enchantress, so I think Samson should be okay on the natures there. I may have just cursed him.
He's dead. Yeah, that's a very nice kill. Get the Shadow Realm off as well, just to avoid Yams from finishing the job. But top lane, they get a kill onto the Alchemist. So both safe laners going down. At least get a bonus return kill there of the Leshrac. So that's going to help out this Phoenix quite a bit. But Fade's in a good spot. Lane underneath his tower. He's going to actually be able to combine the waves just outside the tower here, unless Phoenix can find some way to reset the equilibrium, which doesn't look like it. He's got the double bracers. He's big chilling.
A lot of denies in the mid lane, but Monkey King is slowly building up a lead, just like we expected. And he does have Simeon Stride. Nothing too crazy about that, but it does mean he should be able to rotate over to the sides and still make it back to mid without losing his tower. And I think his rotations will be sneakier than the Lycans because you are coming from the trees.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I wonder how many of the denies from the Lycan are on his own wolves, like that he has to kill or something.
Oh, that's true.
Because I know the first like wave or two, he probably has enough damage to secure some CS, but He needs to be very careful, yeah, of stuff like this, where Wish can just get the Jingu and could just boundless strike the wave. Ooh, a little bit off the mark there. That's going to hurt him a little bit, but the thing is, he's got the Orb of Corrosion. He just continues to walk at this hero. He plants the
50
tree.
gold.
Easy 50 gold. Damage equals done. Nah, and there's the boots, right? Coming out on the courier soon here for Wish. He knows all he has to do is just keep walking at this Lycan. The boots will be pretty much the only thing he needs to do that. And I'm curious, does Mistake on his courier right now? Does he have boots coming out?
I'll be honest, my client's bugged. I can't check.
He does. Okay, so he is going to pick up boots early on the Lycan courier.
Yeah, you need it, but the issue is Monkey King will also have his, so you're actually
my
slower than the
goodness.
Monkey King.
This Alpha Wolf, jeez, that's a lot of damage this early for that Nature's Prophet. He's like, get back here. That's illegal. You can't. Oh, wait a minute. TP in from the Dark Willow. If she hits a Bramble, they might be able to turn this into a kill. Wish. That is a big mistake. He was so close to getting his boots, but he decided to send the courier back to finish the Orb of Corrosion instead. And it ends up costing him his life.
It's like Bignum's going to come and make sure this XP doesn't go to waste. And actually, Leshrac is a support that really likes the early levels, so
Yeah.
maybe this will be a blessing in disguise. Maybe you'll be able to pick up a kill with Diabolic Edict now that you have a quick level 3 and, you know, maybe more levels to come.
Yeah. I mean, Wish is still in full control of this lane, for sure. Like, this, it's not like he's in a bad spot. Bottom lane, Cloud in a bad spot, getting caught by the enchant once again. The auto attacks just from these two heroes. Gonna bring me extremely low, but he will survive. I was like, there's no way he completes that TP, right? Yeah. They get him. The Ignum actually going down in the jungle. Almost manages to kill the Dark Willow there, thanks to Edict, but they have forced the Alchemist completely out of the lane.
Yeah, I think both supports found him, so they're splitting the damage and they're able to win that fight. But like you said, Alk only level 4.5, so still pretty far from his high regen ult where it becomes much easier to jungle, yet he can't really play the lane that well versus the Mars, who's been given a lot of solo time while Leshrac's been moving around. And he's quite high level, going to end up with the ultimate pretty soon, compared to Cloud, who's level 3 and running around, trying to not be killed. Kunkka pretty fast, though, so looks like he should be okay, but you're totally out of the lane.
Yeah, absolutely. Mid lane, amplify damage here on the Dark Willow. He's going to try and get himself a little bit of HP, stunned up. Oh, they fortify the wave. He can only bound the strike the Dark Willow and instead walks into the Bramble. 2 deaths on this mid lane Monkey King. Top lane, Arena comes out. They will grab themselves the Alchemist, as they now turn their attention to the tier 1 tower and they fort themselves to try and protect their mid tier 1. But that might end up dying anyway. That tower is falling very low and fast in mid. Yeah, they got to deal with Catapult.
Unknown is doing a good job of helping this bad matchup, but it is coming at the cost of their side lanes, right? So these 2 kills are great, but then I ask myself,
level 4.
Is Lycan gonna give this back to his team? You know, it's very different from like a Storm Spirit who's being Huskard. So you got to go help him, you know, get him a kill or 2, and now he's level 6, and now he comes zipping into your lane. It's like, okay, you know, your support's left you. Now I'm here to help you get a kill on the carry, and now you're back too, right? That's team play. But Lycan is going to jungle, right? That's not a flame to the player. That's just like what the hero does. So how will your Alchemist and your Kunkka get back into this? Who is going to help them?
I'm curious if he goes like the aura builds he did earlier, something like the Vlad's drums pipe, because I think he might need to. You've got like an Alchemist who's going to be going for the TP out. He's fine. All right. Classic. But as I say, you have an Alk who will contribute damage, so you need your Lycan to be bringing in the auras this game. But once again, Nature's Prophet comes top. They find the tower. Now Wish will find the Dark Willow here. He's going to get stunned up for the moment, but does have the Boundless Strike. Gets the Jingu stack here with one more. Oh, that's interesting. The stun connects, but it doesn't count as a Jingu hit because you can't actually attack the hero in Shadow Realm. So it stayed at 3 stacks.
That would also be why he didn't heal in the mid lane. I thought he just healed like so little because he only hit the Dark Willow, but yeah, he probably just didn't heal. He stunned her.
He only gets like the Boundless Strike's base damage or something, not the auto attack damage portion of it, which is, you know, the majority of the damage. All right, well that's cool. That's an interaction I did not know about.
Learning a little bit. All right, they're bringing the Enchantress. He does have his ultimate, so he should be able to just leave.
Yeah. Boundless Strike connects. Enchant is out. He's going to be forced to pop the ult. He's going to turn it around here. I don't think you win once the Jingu stacks are up. That being said, Yamsun, got to be careful.
So many spirits come out.
Yeah.
They have the troll here. This mid tower is not going to stay up very long if you don't bring some help.
You really want to pressure the Lycan, but just a couple more seconds on that shapeshift will get him out. They're bringing in the Leshrac as well. And they will scout the Phoenix rotating in, who is level 6 now. So you got to be careful of the egg. Oh, Alchemist is going to get scouted as well. That's a much bigger one. They have to know something's up. Way too many heroes showing up. Alex going to channel the concoction, throw the stun. It's going to connect onto the Enchantress in mid. The Wrath of Nature doing a decent chunk. The boat connects. Fade comes in with the arena. Traps down too. The egg on the side. They've got to finish this off before anyone can stun them. They do. All right, nicely done. Wish with Boundless Strike gets the Jingu here onto the Kunkka. He's going to survive for the moment. Taking through a lot of this damage, but he is left alone. Ends up being a 2 for 2.
Not bad for Unknown, considering who died. It's the Kunkka who's so far behind, right? He didn't even give that much gold for it. I think you're pretty happy with that. See if it doesn't look like you can get a tower or anything. Yeah, but yeah, like you said, defended. It's still a rough sign though that it's a 3k gold lead for the team that doesn't have the Alchemist. So that is still the concern here. Let's see, how far is he from Radiance? Over 2,000 gold, so quite a bit behind where he'd like to be.
He's a blade mail away from blade mail on the Kunkka right now.
That is a rough spot to be.
And it's a great blade mail.
It is a good item though, yeah. But you'd prefer to have it now, right? Where it's much earlier, it's much more effective the sooner you get it. When the health pools are low and Kunkka is so tanky himself, by the time he finishes it, you know, the enemy supports probably have a couple extra bracers, and now Leshrac doesn't mind doing damage into the blade mail. So it is a rough spot to be. I can't really think of a better item for him to go for instead, though, so...
Yeah, I mean, right now they're just doing a really good job at pressuring the lanes. Like, they've managed to secure the mid-tier 1 tower with the help of the Enchantress creeps. They're still forcing Alchemist to farm on the top side of the map, which, you know, isn't that bad. And they're wave dragging bottom to try and prevent this wave from coming in and crashing their tower, but... Yeah, he's just doing it again. He just keeps summoning the tree and doing it. It's delaying the push quite a bit. Yeah, they just are soaking the whole wave next to the tower, and they can't actually do anything about this. Enchantress just free farming it. The tower is unfazed. He is at least, like you said, getting a massive stack on the Ancient Camp, which that will give him some absolutely necessary gold for the moment. He's getting there, slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely. If only he had a blade mail or some extra damage to speed this up.
Yeah. Monkey King is going the Diffusal Blade, by the way. I don't know if you saw that, but how do you feel about the Diffusal?
I guess it makes sense in terms of a fighting item that you want to come online early. I don't feel like these are the most mana-dependent heroes, though at the same time, they are pretty low mana, so if you hit them a couple times, they're pretty much out of mana and can't use their spells.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Dispel?
In terms of, I mean, Disperser eventually seems kind of cool, but I was thinking in terms of the heroes you're fighting against, it's like these 3 strength melee here. I guess Lycan's universal, but you know what I mean? Like, they don't have a ton of mana to work with, and mana burn is really useful against these types of heroes. Like, they actually are very reliant on being able to get their spells off. Smoke instantly pop, the dive in fade's gonna be able to get a good defensive arena off, but the terrorize, the sunray, it's doing some work. He goes for the egg. They managed to take down 1. The question is, can they get more? Alk's gonna self-stun. Looks like that's gonna be an end to that. 5-hero rotation, netting the kill onto the Mars. Pretty worth it. Nice, not bad.
It is a lot of heroes, but fortunately, the rest of Apex Genesis was also in that area. So it's not like they were free farming across the map in that meantime.
Yeah.
It's not too bad, but this Gleipnir's getting closer for the Natures. I think that's when they're going to pick up a lot of speed.
That's go time, baby.
For Apex Genesis. But
Wish. He's going to chase the Alk. That diffusal's done. He pops the concoction. It stuns him for the moment, but this is what I was talking about. It's like at this point, without having any mana on Alk, it's really frustrating because he has to actually like ferry mana items.
yeah, your ultimate is not enough to give you mana. Okay, quick kill for them. Another good find. The ultimate from Alchemist isn't really enough to restore.
Well, it doesn't even give
did they
mana
remove
anymore.
that?
Yeah, they
Oh,
removed
yeah,
the mana
yeah,
regen from it, yeah. So if
All right,
that's
well,
what
then
makes
even
it
more so.
really rough. Boundless Strike's going to connect here onto the Kunkka. He's going to go down. The rest of the team wishes they could grab this Lycan, but too fast. Too furious. Yeah, I realized that I played Alchemist, I don't know, like earlier this year after not playing him for a long time, and I was like, all right, I'm low on mana, time to pop my ult. And I was like, my mana's not moving. What is going on here? I'm like, I don't have a lot of mana still. Yeah, there's no mana regen built into it. See, that's where you see, you know, Alks having to ferry extra mana regen or just constantly spam the Soul Ring to try and, you know, keep themselves on the map.
Yeah, he actually didn't get one this game, the Soul Ring, I mean, so maybe go back for it now that you see that Diffusal come out.
And he's not near Wishing Well either, so he's like one of the few heroes that actually prefers the Wells over the Mighty Mines. Mid lane here, Terrorize does connect. He did get the barrier off, but all the damage coming through Magic at the moment. Yamsun will be fine, though. Heals off a lot of this thanks to the sprites. It's only a 2K lead for Apex Genesis, but this is into the Alchemist, and that's where you gotta be feeling pretty confident about your positioning at the moment. Blade Mail is gonna get finished up here on the Kunkka. That's not a bad, that's a pretty decent pickup, but it's coming in late, like you said, so it's not as impactful as you'd like to see maybe a couple minutes ago.
Aether Lens queued up on the Mars.
It's one you don't see that often. A lot of times you see like Yules, like as like a alternate path or mana item, or like, I don't want to say support, but like extension item in a way. But the Aether Lens is interesting. Oh, he does have a Yules anyway. Okay, well there's the Blink, the arena spear set up here onto the Dark Willow. She should just burn. Ends up getting picked off by the Enchantress on the backside and mistake. He wants to run in here on the Lycan. A big Wrath of Nature comes in. There's the dive. The egg dropped right under the boat, but they got plenty of heroes to bring it down. Maybe a little bit too aggressive. Gleipnir out. It's going to trap down 3. They want to finish off the Lycan. Stuck inside the Sprout. They got another Yule.
Q misses.
The spear comes out.
Oh,
He's going to make it out. Oh, man. Lycan lives with a sliver of HP.
Yeah, to be fair, the Boundless Strike also missed, and they were just trying to finish it off. It was close, but does get to live another day. Thank you, Bracer, for giving me all that free HP.
Yes. Overall, still a pretty good fight. 2 for 1. I mean, only supports going down in this fight. But I mean, you could start to see, right? The Alk wanted to enter here with his Radiance, and without a BKB, it's a little bit scary. He just kind of gets trapped off onto the backside of the fight, and if he walks into that Wukong's, he can very easily force him down. Yeah, they're like, something's going on. They know we're here. Gets a D ward on Bignum. Okay, Fade changed his items. He's going Pipe.
Okay, I like that a lot more. I do think either you're playing the Initiator, which he kind of is, but not getting the Blink, just going to depend on the Yules and the Phase Boots to do it for him.
Yeah.
Which against this amount of melee heroes, you know, I
Not
guess
that hard.
that's kind of okay. They have to come to you. But yeah, I like the Pipe to, you know, Aura Gaming we keep talking about.
Ooh, Fade. He's going to find the Phoenix. Spears back towards the Lash. The follow-up stun. And 4 points Edict is so much damage to find this kill. So, a really good pick-off. Heaven's actually TPing bottom to try and help pressure this Nature's Prophet. Which looks like he's actually dead. Just ran down by the Kunkka and the Lycan.
Here, do you go steal the Tormentor if you can? Your carry's gone, though.
You have Wukong's.
Phoenix is spawning. They're thinking about it. They're posturing here. And actually, they don't know it, but the Alchemist and the Dark Willow aren't here. So you could just walk in and force it.
I think they want the tower first, right? I think for them, the tower is more important.
That would be ideal. Okay, Dark Willow's showing mid now. Yeah, okay, they're pinging the tower. They're going to try to finish it. And if you don't... You're just going to give up your Tormentor.
Yeah, you are. They're going to go straight for it. This is a really nice play from Apex. They don't necessarily have to stick around for the Wisdom Rune, but your Enchantress could, is the thing, right? Like, Enchantress could just hang out here, kind of farm a little bit. Looks like they're going to head back across the map. They have their own Tormentor they could play for. They also want to make sure they don't give up their own Wisdom Rune.
Yeah, you can also just leave a summon, like either Enchantress or Nature's Prophet leaves it, and then you just deny the Wisdom Rune if you don't want to stick around. I'm not sure. Is there timing they were hoping for? I mean, they're smoked now. I feel like they should have been there for the Tormentor, but too late now. So you just have to look for the next play, which maybe could have been stealing the enemy Tormentor if you're giving up yours. Just run right over there, but instead they kind of smoke back to their own side, and Apex Genesis has already left, so you don't really end up with anything from here, and that's going to lead to a quick 6k lead, soon to be a little more. Oh, never mind, the Tormentors fell. Okay, yeah, so 6k lead.
And they get the shard for the Enchantress there, which is fantastic. She's already kind of scaling as a secondary core, which is what we see a lot with this hero. So, yeah, I think for Apex, pretty happy about that series of events. Who got the other shard? Was it actually
Leshrac, which is
Yeah.
fantastic.
It's
It's gonna be so good versus. Yeah, it's gonna be so good versus all these melee heroes, and it should be possible to get some really nice chain stuns like Arena, Spear. You throw your Q, Boundless Strike comes in, your Q procs again, right? There's gonna be a lot of chain stun potential.
Amplify damage, gonna get scouted in the bottom lane here. I mean, this is a pretty big rune if they can make something happen with this. There's not a ton of duration left on this smoke, but they will see Apex in the top lane here going for this tier 2 here shortly. And they're ganking actually from a pretty good angle. This would not be bad, but there's a good ward here from Apex. They're going to see everything. The smoke pops. They jump into the backside. You get Sammy, but Fade ends up only catching the Dark Willow inside of the arena. That's not ideal. Well, your Nature's Prophet just dies to the cores. And now Mars left to go nowhere, stuck, pulled back into the egg. That's 2 great kills for the side of Difference. Yamsun will just TP out.
I think that was even with the Observer, the position didn't quite work out there. Alchemist immediately runs at Nature's, and the main hero who can help protect the Nature's is the Mars, who was not near him at all. He was somewhere
No.
else in the fight. I think they were hoping Mars would find someone and the Nature's TPs into it, but
They just ran
once
right by
that,
him. The ward missed
yeah,
him.
that once that doesn't happen, especially around that observer, which is why I'm surprised that they were able to do that. But
The vision-
prioritize the exact right targets on unknown.
Yeah, the ward gave them vision of like the Dark Willow and the Kunkka, but it missed the Lycan and the Alk, who were too far to the left. So they had no idea the smoke was still on those heroes. And by the time I think they realized it, the Alk was already on top of the Natures, by like you said. So a little bit of a split there from Apex. They do manage to grab the bottom tower now here, as the top tier 2 still being pressured by Apex Genesis. But this game is very even now. Only a 2,000 gold advantage.
And look at all these bracers!
Closing in on the BKB. Yeah, my god, what a dumb item.
So many bracers and Wraith bands.
So that's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 bracers. Is that what I'm seeing?
14 bracers, 3 Wraith bands. What a time to be alive.
All right. Roshan number 1. That's going to go to the Alchemist. They did lose their top tier 2 for this, so I think an okay trade in the grand scheme of things. I am curious how long until, like, what the item build is going to be for this Monkey King at this point, because like he did exactly what I wanted him to do. He went back for the pipe. He's got himself, like, the Vlads, the drums, now the pipe completed, and it's a little bit more difficult for them to take these fights on Apex. Like, there is a lot of tank on the side of difference.
Sure, looks like he wants to get the BKB first, which would be very helpful versus Phoenix, Dark Willow, and Kunkka. You can mostly ignore those heroes once you have that BKB. I guess the question is, how do you start these fights? A pickoff is a pickoff, of course, but in a proper team fight, are you trying to focus the Alk, take him out? You know, that's really tough, even ignoring the fact that he's got the Aegis. Maybe you kill all the supports, but it means your Alk and your Lycan are just freely hitting you, and the rum buff is going to make it take forever to actually kill the supports, as long as he gets it off in time. So I'm not sure how you want to approach this. I guess if you can get to the Alchemist before he gets his ult, you have the chain stun to kill him, but that is easier said than done.
Looking for the Phoenix. Just going to go for the dive. Sunray out. He'll be fine. Classic. Ooh, actually, maybe a little bit of a misplay there from Sammy. He could have gone for the Curse of the Old Growth into a Sprout on the high ground, and he actually might have found the Phoenix.
Might have been able to, yeah. I don't know if he'll have the actual damage to finish the kill, but you can try.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
After that top tower, they're actually smoking mid. I feel like this should be... You can have an idea this is happening. Like, why wouldn't you just keep pushing tier 2?
That's a blink reveal on the Dark Willow. And it's going to do a lot of work here. Find Wish. He does have the Diffusal. He's going to be forced to TP on the back end of this BKB.
Is he gonna make
He
it?
barely makes it. Oh, man. He had no Boundless Strike. Otherwise, obviously, just Boundless Strike TP there. But that was very close. That's first
Alchemist.
BKB usage, though.
Yeah, if Alchemist had his ult going, that's a kill right there. But you do see why he needs that BKB to survive the magic damage, but also not get caught by Kunkka's X mark.
Do you see the Dark Willow has a Holy Locket? Did I see that right?
She does. It's very peculiar. I wonder if the idea is to give mana to your team when they get mana burned. I don't really
Yeah.
understand it.
He's like, well, I bought Tranquils, guys. I can't get mana boots, but I will buy you a locket.
Is under attack.
It's also just more stats, I guess, but like paying that much for the locket recipe is kind of, for the extra stats, it's not something we see all that often.
It's an interesting choice.
Has been killed.
Like Phoenix, sure.
Yeah,
Dark
right?
Willow is very strange.
Not typically known
Still
as
though
the
Dark Willow
healing
should be hitting
hero.
the tower with the Alchemist. This feels...
Yeah.
You just stand in the back.
They're cutting all the waves. They have to deal with the one wave that is here, so they are going to pop the fortification. The Wolves are tanking a lot of this, though. And I was like, they have to clean up the rest of the wave. And it looks like with all 3 lanes being completely cut mid, I think they cut 2 waves. The side lanes are pushed all the way into the enemy base, so they actually cannot pressure the high ground. So it's Apex just dodging completely, wanting absolutely nothing to do with fighting into unknown right now with this Aegis.
Got 30 seconds on Aegis. Don't think anything else is going to happen with that from here. But whoever wins a big fight from here on... Oh, baits the Terrorize out.
Wow, that is quite nice.
Should let him know that there is an observer there, potentially. Or... he threw that from fog, or from smoke, right? So is that just...
Yeah. I think it was just, I don't want to go there anymore. Ooh, Lesh actually tanks the initial gank. Sammy just got a BKB TP home as the Aegis gets reclaimed. You do manage to get yourself the Lesh. You defend your high ground. Aegis expires, though. And that's kind of big. I feel like Apex are
you
just
know
looking
what it
to take
is?
this late. What was it?
I think so. You can hear it being cast. So I think even though it was
Terrorize?
in... Yeah, you can hear the Terrorize. So I think he was looking over there, and because they have vision from the ward, he could hear the noise, and he was like, oh, I'm not going to do this.
Do they have
But
the
I will
life
come get this
gear?
Lycan.
Okay, yeah, they don't even need it. Yeah, that's a really good use of just a very convenient invis rune that they find. Able to just find a really important kill there onto the Lycan. He's a big part of the team fights. A lot of damage, plus the pipe, of course, that gives them the very like much needed aura. I thought I heard a Wrath of Nature. Yep, there it is. Just bouncing around the map, trying to shove in the lanes. It is daytime now, which does favor Apex. Like, no more global howl, so you don't, like, your lanes don't kind of, like, automatically de-push.
Does he have the shard? He does. Okay. So your lanes do push out, which I think that's pretty helpful versus the natures who you don't want to get ratted by. Finally get a Tormentor for themselves. Just going to go to Heaven on the Dark Willow. That's a nice one. More brambles on the ground to be annoying for Apex Genesis.
They know their own is going to be up here in a moment, of course, because they were the ones who took it. You know, they took both Tormentors right around 20 minutes. So the 4th shard for their team, I think Sammy already bought his, so it's either going to go to Monkey King or Mars, both of which are quite good. Getting that extra mobility on Monkey King is always really nice, and then, of course, Mars, potential double spear, can do some big work in fights.
Yeah, I think Monkey Kings will be nice. Yeah, he did get it, because now you can use it to...
But it's used.
Exactly like this.
Chase the Phoenix, yeah. Okay, they force back some double TPs. Wrath of Nature helping again de-push the map a little bit, but Wish has the Harpoon, BKB, and a Diffusal. Now gonna go for a Daedalus, which is not really what I expected. I would have thought like maybe Aghanim Scepter or something along those lines. There's gonna be the Blink, the Spear, it finds the arena trapping mistake, but they've also got a really nice find there onto the Dark Willow. The Egg's not gonna be able to survive this one. The bow comes through, doing quite a bit of damage, but Fate, he gets the BKB off. He's stalling this one out, and Kunkka pops the BKB, but they have their sights set here. They want the Alchemist. There's nowhere for him to go. Wukong's command comes out, the Harpoon to pull him back in. Kunkka will finally die as the run buff expires, but this is going to be a full 5-hero team wipe for Apex as they only lose the Leshrac. That's a full AC done now on your Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, it's helping
I like
them
that
a
a
lot. It's helping them a lot to counter the acid spray and all the physical damage from these cores. Alex dead for 50 seconds. I think you can chip a tier 3 a little bit. Roche could be up, but also, you know, what are the odds it's an instant spawn? I think it's okay to just poke. And yeah, it looks like Nature's is TPing in, summoning a Trent. And they should just chip away at this mid tower. I say as they walk away from it. They just want map control, I guess.
they're just gonna get all the waves in, and then just, I would imagine, send some creeps into the Roche pit to try and scout. Wish actually gonna get found out. Does like Boundless Strike away, but Curse Crown's gonna hold him down, and he's dead. He just gets found super far in advance. The Leash talent though finds the Phoenix. That's a big one.
Dire's bottom
And
tower
Sammy,
is under attack.
well, gets a return kill, but losing the Monkey King. That's a big bounty going the way of Unknown. Yeah, 1,200, almost 1,300 gold. Huge.
Yeah, that was strange to me. I think if you're not pushing there, you at least need to stay together, because once you split up, right, the enemy may only have had 3 heroes, but if you have 2 in the bottom lane and 2 in the top lane, well, that means they actually outnumber you wherever they go, which is pretty much what happened there. Despite having 2 heroes dead, they find a kill on the Monkey King because Apex Genesis is so split up. So I feel like you're either all moving towards Roche or all hitting a tower together to avoid that.
Speaking of Roche, Sammy decides to just go check it by TPing down there. He finds it, and it shouldn't take him too long to finish up that Roshan. He's got a lot of damage. He's gonna get a little bit of assist though from Fade as well as Big Num though.
This will be the banner this time,
that'll
which
help
there's
a lot
not a
with the push.
great way to deal with. So should help them get these, maybe like get the first barracks. That's often the hardest one.
Yeah, I agree. You're running triple melee core, right? It's not super easy to get to a well-placed banner. That being said, you do have to place it correctly. Like, there's a lot of times we've seen a banner get placed too aggressively or too defensively, and then it just gets relatively wasted. But we'll see. Big Num making the rotation over along the side of the map here. Maybe gonna try and, I was gonna say maybe place a aggressive ward, but doesn't have any. And he'll just take the Wisdom Rune here at 35 minutes while Sammy grabs the other. Oh, he's just holding it. Monkey King, they want it for Fade. Al, like Sammy. Maybe they're just gonna give it to Sammy. He's gonna TP.
They're trying to do some math here real quick. They're not sure.
Sammy's almost 25,
they want 25.
actually. Holy heck. That Treant at 25 is an absolute monster.
Which is crazy to think you would take it over teleport cooldown, but now that teleport's back to a 20-second cooldown at max, and the Treant is so good when you go Ironwood Treant, you do see a lot of people go the left talent. We'll see what he ends up choosing, though.
I mean, it's
can
definitely the Treant talent. There's
Show
no
up
way,
around everywhere.
right? I mean, the
I think
teleport
so.
cooldown is cool and whatnot, but like that Treant, like 4 shots of melee barracks. it's ridiculous how much
It is
damage
really good.
it does.
He also has the
Because
10 seconds off nature's cooldown, so you can have multiple Treants at a time.
Yeah, so it's got 80 damage right now. It will get 3 times that plus the HP. So it goes to 4,500 HP. Right? Yeah, 4,500 HP and like almost 200 damage, which again, it does bonus damage to buildings, 150%.
He's got it now.
Is under attack. Dire's
Yeah, here we go. Look at this
Immediately
thing,
shows
234 damage, 4,600 HP. Watch the tower go bye-bye. Yeah, dude, look at this thing. You gotta deal with it somehow. They're trying to find the heroes. Meanwhile, the real hero is that Treant on the barracks, which already takes it down. The egg plays super aggressively. The BKBs come down just to secure it. And now Big Num on the backside takes a lot of the attention here from Unknown. And there's still a Treant on the barracks. It is 3-shotting the ranged barracks. It is dead. Okay. Here we go, into the mid lane. Another one already spawned, ready to go. Onto the tower with the Solar Crest. And it's gone.
My goodness.
This thing is ridiculous, dude. Nice
Oh,
tree
they
cut.
actually break the tree on Monkey King.
Jules, however, will pull him back. Do they have the damage to finish it off? The blink in. They almost get the Bedlam, but it's just barely off the mark. The God's Rebuke made a lot of space there. The Torrent into the stun, but the counter stuns from the Leshrac. And Sammy and Yamsun just let to attack to anything they want. There's no pressure being applied to them. Get mid lane while your Treants just quickly clean up the other lane of barracks. No big deal. This is exactly, this is what I'm talking about. This timing is ridiculous. If you're this far ahead on a Nature's Prophet, you cannot handle these Treants. They are way too strong. They have double Solar Crest for them as well.
Yeah,
So
I
they're
like
going
the
to pop all the
patience.
buybacks, but it doesn't matter. This throne, it's cooked, baby. Apex Genesis take game number 1.
I like the patience from Apex Genesis to realize I'm close to 25, right? They had just taken Roche and they had the banner, and there's a nice timing you can go for when the catapults spawn because you can place the banner further back to just protect the catapults, and it can be tempting to like just beeline after Roche straight to the base. But to see, hey guys, I'm actually pretty close to 25. Like, save the wisdom runes for me. Let me farm a little bit, and then the trance will win us the game, right? That was the much safer way to do it. Even without the catapult timing, you just keep sending in trance. In this case, they kind of just they got it all in one go. So I mean, it looked easy. But if they do defend it, you just keep sending trance. It's a very low cooldown. It's the safest way to do it. If they're really defending one lane, you can even split it across multiple lanes, right? And you will eventually get it because those towers just don't heal, but you just keep spawning these insanely powerful trance, which is why we typically see that facet taken nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, they hit towers for 400 damage, and you've got double Solar Crest on your supports, and you have an AC on the Nature's Prophet. So they've got extra, like a ton of extra attack speed, and the towers have negative armor. So you're just, or not negative, but they have reduced armor. You know what I'm getting at? So it's the value of that level 25 talent was just unbelievably strong. And the time it took them to kill the egg, they had already taken a full lane of barracks with the treant on the backside of the fight. Like they're like jumping in, trying to kill these heroes, and there's just a
Yeah.
little nature's treant just slapping the barracks, and they're both gone. Like, it's ridiculous. How, like, he did 30,000 building damage, over half of which was in the last minute of the game.
Yeah, I will say though that I think this is one of Unknown's better performances from what we saw today. This was a very close game up till like maybe 30 minutes. It wasn't too clear. Like it felt like Apex Genesis was in control, and yet like, oh wait, this hero just died, and like, oh, this hero just died, right? So Unknown actually made it very close, and I think they had a shot to win it there with maybe if they didn't get countered so hard by that Monkey King, which they
Yeah.
did try to address by bringing supports, but then it hurt your side lanes a lot, right? They had a pretty rough start and then kept it quite close despite that. So I think going into game number 2, adjust the draft a little bit. If you can have a little bit easier lanes, like at least one of them be a bit easier, then, it looked like they could actually take a game, maybe the whole series off of Apex Genesis.
Yeah. It's a really cool game 1 from Apex, though. They kept their cool. They played their lanes. They played their game exactly, kind of like what we expected, just sticking to their own strats. So we're going to go to a break, everyone. We'll be back with game 2 of Apex Genesis versus Unknown in this lower bracket elimination series. Stay tuned. We'll see you after the break. Welcome back, everybody, here to the lower bracket elimination series of Apex Genesis versus Unknown here for the North American qualifiers. We've got an interesting game one. I mean, they still believe it in the Lycan mid. It looked okay, but this time, I would say properly addressed with something like the Monkey King, right?
Yeah, I think that monkey pick was really good. It put so much pressure on the Lycan. And if you don't bring the supports over, maybe both your side lanes go a little bit better, but your mid Lycan just won't have a game. And I'm not really sure what mid Lycan does after falling behind. Maybe he does the same thing, which is just like farm in the jungle to eventually hit some timing, and you play around the alpha wolves. But I do think if you keep picking Lycan mid like this, I don't know. It's a little telegraphed, and I think there's enough responses to Lycan mid that I don't know. There needs to be this is why you can't just like run the same draft again and again. You need a little bit of variety, unless a hero is super broken. But is Lycan super broken? I'm not so sure.
I'm not so sure either. I think part of this was they maybe got a little bit lost in the draft, thinking like, oh, I mean, they're surely running a mid Lesh, right? Like, that's probably going to be their mid laner. And I don't know if they just haven't seen a lot of Lesh support, but you and we've seen the hero get flexed a decent amount with Misanthropy. And I think they may have just like baited out the Lycan pick. It's either that or they're still just very confident in it and they picked it anyway, like with kind of little regard for whatever the counter pick was going to be. But Apex feel very confident clearly against this hero, and I don't think they're going to care about banning it. They're just going to kind of hope maybe they go for it again and address it later in the draft. Some differences, though, this time around. No Enchantress, no Nature's Prophet. Some heroes that typically are banned but made it through in game number 1.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I mean, it means we're going to see one of the other supports like Omni, Naga, Tusk. Okay, now with the Sand King ban, we're probably going to see both of them picked up, like Naga and Tusk. You get to pick which one you want.
Radiant team pick. Dire team pick.
Dusk.
There it is. Okay, they get the Tusk.
Do you want Omni as a response? Or they seem to have liked Dark Willow a lot. They seem to also like Rubik a lot.
That's true. We have seen a decent amount of the Rubik, but
Log in the Lycan. Let's do it. Okay. Just move it up further and further in priority.
dude, what if they did actually? What if they were just like, whatever, we'll pick the Lycan.
I promise you, Apex Genesis is not competing with them for it.
They go back for the Brood actually, which is nice.
They actually did this to Difference Team in their last series, the Tusk opener into the Brood response.
Yeah. Tusk is just such a good hero, though.
Yeah, it didn't quite work out for them in that series.
Mars.
We'll see if they can do better on it this time. Yeah, I think like Mars is still something you have to consider.
I think you just ban it. I think it's worth banning right here.
Yeah, I do too. Last time I think they banned what, like Bristleback, and he's already banned out.
Bristle. And we just saw Fade play it last game. Like, he's already warmed up, ready to go on the Mars. There is no reason to let that hero through the pool. It makes the game way too hard for a Broodmother.
10 seconds remaining.
I think so.
5 seconds.
The other option's the Monkey King. If you want to run this mid lane and they want to put the Monkey King in mid again, it would cause quite a bit of problems for this hero.
Yeah,
I think you have to ban one of the two.
Yeah, if you give him the Monkey King, that definitely counters your potential mid Lycan later, because there is a world this is a carrier offlane Brood and you go back for the mid Lycan. I think you're leaning a little bit too much into the same thing, but I mean, sometimes that works, right? If you come out of the lanes and you just have this overwhelming push, they ban the Kunkka. I mean, you could take the Mars yourself. No, they go for the Rubik. I mean, I think Mars +1 sounds good.
Oh my gosh, Wind Ranger's in the pool. Okay, well,
Yeah,
that's
she's
pretty
been
good.
kind of ignored for a bit,
Yeah.
actually. We kind of forgot about her.
I think she was getting banned first phase in most of these games.
Were they? Okay.
Yeah, she got banned, but like a couple times she slipped through and got banned later. They're gonna go for the Pangolier. Now, this is actually one of the classic counters to a Brood Mother. This hero ruins the Brood, like in almost every stage of the game. It's similar to the Mars, where he has great ability to clear out the spiders, but also the ultimate of Pangolier is such a pain for a Brood Mother to deal with. So I like this a lot. If it ends up being a mid brood, you can just put the Pango there, but you can still put the Pango off lane, and that is one of the nice flexes here.
Now, there is a Rubik, though, so he can also steal the role, which is a very good steal. Probably the best one right now. Maybe Shackle Shot's also really solid. We could see something like Primal Beast, I'd say is like pretty good versus the Pango. You do need some, well, I don't know if you still need to flex a lot in response so much as like just focus on your own draft, but Apex Genesis, like Wind Ranger and Pango can move around. So it is kind of hard to try to like pick a counter in the lane to that hero and then they just move. So I think it's more about like the game counter, you know, like Primal Beast will be good versus the Pango at some point. I don't know, maybe like Omni still feels okay to me. Repel and the ult are really good.
Hey, yeah, I would like to just see a strong 5 picked here, maybe, or a flex. Like, I'm with you on the Omni. I think that's okay, but I also would be down to see just like a nice flex hero.
How about a
I
Magnus?
guess that's a flex hero. I mean, we don't really see it that much, but it has been getting picked somewhat recently. I think in Eastern Europe or in Western Europe earlier. I'm pretty sure OG like last picked this
10 seconds.
in one of their games against Passion, and yeah, they did, and then they ended up winning that game. So it's got some like some experimentation, I guess, and not like a traditional core pick at the moment, but I think for the most part, it still has its place. Just not
Can
as
you
strong as some others.
imagine empowered Alpha Wolves?
Oh
My God.
So with these picks, the Phoenix is kind of a cool idea against the Wind Ranger because she wants to whirlwind in the fight, and you can't just attack the egg when you're whirlwinding. So that's super annoying. So you're gonna have to pick a hero that can 100% jump in, deal with the egg, because right now both your cores cannot attack it while they're ulting.
Lone Druid's in the pool too, and Phoenix, the max HP burn is kind of nice for stats. So, in case you are worried about the Lone Druid, you've got the Phoenix for it.
I'm down for just the Mars pick, to be honest. But and then you're like last picking a support, which is kind of weird. But okay, they go Beastmaster. That's a decent one. The attack speed aura should help. Very good in lane as well against the Phoenix. Alright,
So,
I'm
is
okay
it a
with it.
last pick support, or you think they're maybe you run Wind Ranger for?
That's an option now, actually, with the Beastmaster pick. That's true. I didn't really consider that because Wind Ranger is just so good as a carry. Like, we just pretty much never see this hero flexed anymore. But it's possible that they would be willing to move it to a support role. They're going to ban out Batrider and the Omni. So they're thinking that this is going to be a carry Wind Ranger. I tend to expect that as well. Morphling and Alchemist removed from Apex. They have to go ahead and kind of reveal their hand here, see what they're going to go in this last pick. But in terms of supports that are left, Mirana. Okay. Well, this could be a core Mirana technically. Like, we have seen it. But from the support role, this is a great hero that can still kill the egg. I was actually going to maybe consider Snapfire because she was still in the pool. but they go for the Mirana instead.
Remaining.
Yeah, I think Mirana herself can kill the egg, but also even if she's not there, Solar Flare will help her team get to the egg. And although Pango's probably rolling and Beastmaster's damage a lot comes from the eggs, both of them are universal heroes who hit pretty hard if you give them some extra Solar Flare attack speed.
Carry Mag.
With reverse polarity? Question?
Nah, he's definitely swapping that. There's no way. I don't think anyone... Well, when you have an egg, actually, reverse polarity is not bad. But then it comes
Surely
at the
the
same time,
carry
it's
does
like...
not play for the 5.
Well, it's like, surely if you just had a regular RP, it also kind of serves the same purpose because they're just stunned under an egg. So I feel like, yeah, he's going to go for reverse polarity.
I would be up for a support Magnus with reverse polarity because it hits a bigger area. But for a core Magnus who's definitely building damage and you want all that cleave, like it has to be regular reverse polarity.
Your team just plays around it very well, right? You have Abyssal Horde Underlord who's got the, Pit of Malice and Firestorm, a lot of damage he can dump into there, and Rubik can steal something as well. I mean, there's definitely a lot of options. It's not the best Rubik game in terms of like ease to steal some spells. Like a lot of the Tusk spells are not great to steal. Beastmaster, I guess the Axes isn't bad. The best thing you have really is like Starstorm from the Mirana or Power Shot from the Wind Ranger. Neither of which are like easy to get.
I think... Yeah, I mean, like Starstorm, Arrow, Power Shot, Shackle. I think there's like variety, but like you said, the ease of getting them will be a little tricky. But if you can get any of them, it'll help so much with protecting the egg. Like they're trying to stand still, so you throw the arrow, and you'll at least make them move for a little bit so they can't be auto attacking. Or you Shackle Shot 2 heroes trying to hit the egg. Right? There's a lot of powerful potential there, but you do have to actually get the steal and then use it.
All right.
All
Well,
these iron branches.
dude, is he actually doing the same thing to Necrotic Webs as the first time?
He didn't learn.
He just
Mistake,
doesn't know.
question mark indeed.
He doesn't know about this.
Or it's the ultimate bait. He's like, ooh, what lane am I going? I've got a web in every lane.
Yeah.
Where am I?
I mean, I'm sure. I don't know. I'm sure you have to be aware. Maybe it's just to visually annoy the people in the lane. Arrow actually connects. Great shards as well. But this is a deep dive. Shield Crash comes in. Yamsun's fallen low first. He's going to give up first blood as Wish goes really deep under the tower to secure it. And he's going to die as well. Double kill for the Phoenix. That was a 4v5, but you're playing into Phoenix, Underlord. Like, those are some hard heroes to dive next to a tower. Look at that damage.
Yeah, that was a bit of a bold choice to go under the tower. Fortunately, Phoenix is the one that picked up the kills and not the greatest hero in terms of making use of that money, but could maybe get like what, I don't know, early tranquils for infinite spell spam. Just buy a bunch of regen to share over to the Magnus. I'm really not sure how that top lane will go. It's been a while since we saw Magnus carry, but you always do have to be careful of Skewer under tower. Beastmaster has no mobility. Otherwise, I think it's just like farming, axe spam, get some stacks going, and, Beastmaster gaming as usual.
Yeah. I'm a little bit curious because I don't think the Broodmother got any experience from those 2 kills because he was too far away. So that ends up kind of salvaging this mid lane a little bit because I think if Broodmother's like a half level ahead right away, it ends up causing some massive problems. Doesn't actually get the camp block there, but he will find a courier. That is a full salve gone. Very nice. Can he get this? I mean, the Tuscanade is really good at trading, and he has shards in 10 seconds. He might just follow Heaven forever. Top lane, Fade finds a kill onto the Phoenix, but those shards, they're coming off cooldown any second here. Oh, the jukes, Yamsa, no! I
One
cannot
more?
believe it. The one place that he can juke to survive, and you got baited.
Very nice from Heaven, at least.
Yeah.
Will survive and waste a lot of Tusk's time. Cloud will be doing okay here. Getting poked, which is very annoying by Wind Ranger, but he's got good damage, so has some solid CS as we can see on the board. The Phoenix kill that happened in the meantime, though, is a little bit surprising considering he started with an extra bracer. But I guess this is the downside of Phoenix, right? Like, your abilities use a percentage of your HP, so
Yeah.
you still lose a big chunk even with the bracer.
I feel like this mid lane matchup is going to end up being very similar to what we saw earlier with the Lycan. Like, the first couple of waves will be fine for the Pango, and then suddenly you're going to have level 2 webs, Insatiable Hunger, and Incapacitating Bite, and you just can't, like, CS against this hero anymore because the Spider's Milk plus Insatiable Hunger is just way too much sustain. So, Wish,
I think
he's going to
so.
go... Ooh, ends up getting the deny there. That's nice. I was like, he's going to have to go bottle this lane. And because of that, it'll help him like sustain a little bit, but he actually loses the water rune there going for that last hit with the swashbuckle. It actually hurts him quite a bit.
Yeah, he went bottom. He got that one, but it did take a little extra time.
That was a nice play there from Janssen. Just
Nice,
shard blocks
yeah.
off Cloud so he can get the Lotus.
They're trying to reach his arm over the shard. He's like, I can almost grab it. It's so close.
He's got little arms, dude. He's like a dinosaur almost.
Big dinosaur, though. Very scary one. Teleporting dinos, man. That's a fear I didn't know you had. Watch Jurassic Park, but they can blink around.
They can use portals. They're so smart. Dude, if dinosaurs had opposable thumbs, they would have taken over the Earth.
I think they were in control of the Earth for a while.
And I know, that's what I'm saying. Imagine if they also had opposable thumbs. It would have been so much worse. They would have
Turned the
survived
meteors
the
around.
meteor. Yeah, they would have survived the meteor. It would have been that would have been it. GG for humanity.
It's a Broodmother with 13 denies. I will say, even as Pango gets maybe kicked out of lane,
Oh,
he has
nice
AoE
support.
spells, right? So you can jungle a little better, but also kill spiders a little better
Yeah.
than
Yeah, exactly.
something like a Lycan.
Yeah, and that's why I was saying is like it is one of the other like classic counters. So they're gonna rely on the Pango instead of going for something like the Mars to counter it. That's why I was also thinking maybe the Monkey King. It's similar, right? It wins the mid lane. You can boundless strike the spiders at any stage of the game, and they immediately die. But yeah, Pango is similar, but it gives you this really nice team fight hero that can initiate for you. So it's just a different idea in terms of how they wanted to play it.
Yeah, I wonder if this lane is going how they expected, though, because this Broodmother really does have quite a few denies.
Yeah, he's owning. The spider's milk, man. It's so good.
Beastmaster, earlier we saw go for Helm Dom. Not this time. Doing the classic, Arcanes into Ags. I think this is better. I kind of get the idea behind the Helm Dom last game. Saw it, saw some merits to it, but I don't know if it was worth it in the end.
This is a
I
really
don't know
nice
if it was like
fort.
the only issue.
They're going to chase top side here, look for the Magnus. He just gets him on the skewer, but it just brings the Tusk with him. And now the Phoenix going to go for the dive. Snowball ends up pulling in the Marana as well. That won't actually connect onto the stun, but the Blood Grenade is out in Bignum. He's got a Leap Starstorm doing his best here. The arrow connects as well, and Yamsen will be the one that connects the kill.
Did he pull in that ranged creep?
Yeah, he did. He pulled in an extra creep for the extra move speed and damage,
I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you could pull in creeps. I thought it was just heroes.
Yeah, I don't know. Was it the range creep or was it a boar?
I swear it was a range creep that popped out afterwards. I'll look again later. Heaven in a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, tried to go for a rune deny, but Wish manages to get it. Gets the kill as well. That's fantastic for him. And we can see here, right? Like the Broodmother Spiders, he wants to try and build up his army here, but it'd be pretty easy for Wish to pop these.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
top lane. Phoenix is back. Drinking Buddy's out. Looking for the bird. I don't know if they're going to find him, though. Yamsen's going to walk right into him. They got him. The dive away once again into the
just
Roche
not quite
pit.
enough.
No, yeah, that's unfortunate. Right on the edge. Big no bash, Roche.
That would be
Oh my God.
hilarious.
Just doesn't get to go grab the 7-minute wisdom.
Tower is under attack. Dire are scared.
Okay, we're reaching the end of the laning stage. We're seeing a lot more movements, and it does look like this carry Magnus has not really panned out. 2,000 behind the Beastmaster. That's not all just the last hits. It is some of these aggressive plays that have been happening.
Yeah.
But still, that's not great. That is definitely not what you imagined when you were going for carry Magnus.
Yeah, I mean, Fade is... I think I mentioned it earlier in the tournament, maybe sometime yesterday, but like I feel like he's one of the most underrated players on this team. Like he is exceptionally good from the off lane, and yeah, you just give him a matchup, he's comfortable like winning, and he just takes over. Like it is 7 minutes 45 seconds into the game, he almost is sitting at 5k net worth. He is absurdly farmed on this hero, and he is going to have like a 10-minute Aghanim Scepter at this point, which... Running after this Broodmother here. Shards can't really do you a whole lot, so he just walks away. But is protecting his 8-minute rune, and that's the big thing. Gets the amplify damage.
Fade roared the Phoenix trying to get a solo kill, ends up finding the Magnus there. Doesn't get any kills, but he's essentially 1v2ing the enemy out of their jungle.
Oh,
what a shackle.
You love to see that. Great setup, too, from Yamsen to try and pull the Wind Ranger out of that initial stun with the snowball. So really good stuff there. And, I mean, they bring this Broodmother down here, and Wish is just ready to brawl. He's like, man, I will follow you around the map to the ends of this earth to make sure that you do not get to farm anywhere. And Hitamalis is down. They're going to go ahead and get another really nice shackle. There's going to be the Rolling Thunder. He just goes up out of the high ground. He activated the amplify damage. It actually misses on this Underlord. And Wish is going to continue to look for this Pangolier. I don't know if he's going to find him, though. One more attack from Sammy will find the kill onto the Rubik. Stake hobbling through the mid lane. Barely. He's under vision. He might go down to the Mirana. She leaps after him. The arrow. It doesn't connect, but the shield crash does. He's so low. Loses his courier. Swashbuckle. He's got him. Wish finally takes down the bug.
I gotta say, Yamsen, a lot of times we see snowballs and they don't actually bring any allies, but almost every snowball I see him throw, he does grab as many allies as he can, and I like that. You get the extra stun, extra damage.
The clown car, man, like you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
The potential Aghanim Scepter.
Honk, honk.
You know? I want there to be just an absolutely ridiculous like clown/circus theme that plays when the clown car comes out, and it's just like hop on in everybody, and it just starts playing like a circus theme.
I think they should just reuse the TI song they wrote.
Yeah, exactly. Yamsen goes down here at the bottom rune. Wish should be able to TP out. They do not have anything to cancel this, so they'll make it back to the base. And that is kind of one of the problems of their lineup at the moment. The supports between the Rubik and the Phoenix, you only got one stun, and there's not really any other stuns to take in this game unless you can get the arrow or the shackle shot, which is not easy.
Yeah, you also don't have a Gleipnir builder, which we often see help out with the crowd control.
He should be fine. He can just swashbuckle through, clear the creeps. Yep, does exactly that. Takes a decent chunk of damage, has the Rolling Thunder. Will use it. Gonna bonk the spider a few times, and Tusk coming through. Snowball, another blink. The shards come out. They get the kill. Okay. Have you seen the interaction with Mirana and Broodmother once Mirana has the shard?
No, but I do see Fade killing the carry Magnus on his own with his recently finished Aghanims. Okay, but tell me about this interaction. What is this?
So essentially, well, is he gonna dive this?
Fade's
Surely
not done.
Right? I mean,
He's
he
so
has
powerful.
Axe. He actually can. Yeah, they're just gonna set it up for Wish to come in, help clean this one up. Axes stacked up to 4, and Big Num will chase him down. All right, so The way shard works, when you jump in and you hit someone with the leap, it casts the secondary Starstorm, right? Now, if you Starstorm and leap at the same time, it kills all the spiders, and all of the secondary Starstorms will look for a new target. So if you have like 20 spiders next to the Broodmother, and you pop all the spiders on the first Starstorm, the secondary all retarget to the Broodmother, and it does like 3,000 magic damage instantly and kills the spider.
That's pretty funny. I did not know that happened.
Yeah, so they will automatically retarget. It's kind of cool. Ooh, arrow just off the mark. So it's one of those things I'm going to keep my eyes on. If he gets the shard, he's got level 4 Starstorm now. Like, I have seen support Miranas just, like, leap Starstorm, like, brood next to the spiders and just instantly kills the Broodmother. That's, like, double your net worth. It's very funny, and I want to see it once this game.
I want to see Wish build a Battle Fury and cleave off every spider on a queue and kill the Broodmother that way.
Does it actually cleave off Battle Fury?
Yeah, it'll cleave. I mean, it's a really small amount, you know.
Yeah, isn't it like 80 damage or something? Like,
but it does it for every spider, you know. So it's a lot.
That's true. It's true. All right, blink on the Magnus. This is your one position Magnus here with a blink dagger at 13 minutes, looking to find an opening.
It's kind of strange though. He's not gonna do any damage.
Yeah.
You usually see like Echo Saber first.
Yeah.
He's gonna need the Brood to do everything. Smoke broke.
You're gonna find Yamsun here, but yeah, is this really what you want? They're just gonna do what they can here to find the initial kill. Snowball's gonna go over to Cloud, but here comes Rolling Thunder. It's just gonna stun up everybody. Nice shards to block them off. They've already taken down the Phoenix, and in comes Yamsun with the Whirlwind. They've just trapped this Underlord. He cannot leave. I mean, talk about no damage. You went onto a Tusk, and he just snowballs.
Yeah, this Tusk.
He's also just one of the tankiest heroes in the game.
Yeah, he has a really high strength gain. I'm sure that's one of the things that will be nerfed about this hero. Kind of depends. I don't know. Well, without drinking buddies, he wasn't that meta, right? So I feel like you should just nerf drinking buddies because I think health will... The health looks ridiculous because bracers are also broken, but I feel like those are separate things. I don't think Tusk is broken because of the bracers. I think it's the drinking buddies.
Yeah, I think drinking buddies are definitely too strong. I will say, I think health per strength is going to get nerfed. I think it being 22 is too much. I think it's going to go down to like 20. And it's going to be... Yeah, I think it got crept up so much over the last like 2 years for no reason. It used to be like 16 at one point, and now it's just 22. Which just is insane to me.
That's because they took away 100 starting health that every hero had.
Yeah.
I don't remember why they did that, but that's why they did that.
Oh, there's your RP. It finds Fade, but it gets the roar. The axe is doing work. The egg goes down to the backside. The snowball saves them all, and it's just an ultra kill for Big Gnome.
Big Gnome?
That's the Starstorm spiders, dude.
They just call it, dude.
Starstorm will still